Now turn left.
It is causing delays on the eastbound side. The delays start on the approach to the Hunter Bridge. Westbound side, the delays start now around New York Street. So keep that in mind as you make your way in and out of downtown Toronto. Then we get a call from a traffic spotter. Sounds like there's a tanker that has lost a tire on the westbound side of the 401. It's on the approach to Mavis. Sounds like it's in the express. The right shoulder and the right lane's partially blocked with this tanker. Again, there's debris from the tire across the highway. So keep that in mind as you are making your way through. It is causing a little bit of a delay on the approach. Of course, the travelers have to swerve and maneuver themselves around that debris. So keep that in mind as you are traveling through the city of Mississauga. On the eastbound side of the 401, on and off delays from east of the 427 to east of the 400 in the express and connectors after the basket. Traffic is moving fairly well from the Thomas towards Scarborough and beyond. And moving to now the northbound 410 in Brampton. There are slowdowns happening, of course, north of Steeles through the bottleneck at Queen. Once again, north of Williams, traffic's moving fairly well through Beauvais up towards Caledon. The Battle of Ontario reignites in Toronto. Hockey night in Canada. Senators versus Leafs Saturday night at 6:30 on Sportsnet. Now with the forecast, Denise Andriacci.
Quiet weather this evening and overnight, mild too, as we are on the cusp of the last weekend of winter. We're near 6 degrees for an overnight low, above average. Saturday highs near 14. We'll have sunny breaks early on, but the chance of showers and risk of storms by afternoon, and then on and off wet weather through late day Saturday and Sunday. For low tonight, 6 degrees.
9 degrees right now.
Prepare to turn left.
Cloudy sky, 680 news time 7:33.
The carbon tax is no more. That was Mark Carney's first official order after being sworn in as Canada's 24th Prime Minister earlier today.
680 Parliament Hill reporter Cormac McSweeney has been following the new PM from Rideau Hall to the halls of the House of Commons and joins us with more.
In his first cabinet meeting, Prime Minister Mark Carney has followed through on
Turn left onto Highway 7.
We will be eliminating the Canada fuel charge, the consumer fuel charge, immediately.
He says this shows the new government is focused on results and putting more money in the pockets of Canadians. People who receive the carbon tax rebate will get a final check before the end of April. The move is a clear attempt to show change since this carbon tax was a key policy of the Trudeau government. Just hours
Now turn left.
The Governor General attended the swearing in of Carney and his much smaller cabinet that has been reduced to 23 ministers.
Canada's new government will be action-oriented, driven by a smaller but highly experienced team.
Carney confirms his first official trip is to France and the UK in the coming days, and he has no plans to head to the US, but says he hopes to speak with President Trump soon and has a clear position.
That we will never, ever, in any way, shape, or form, be part of the United States.
All of this comes as Carney again hints that he may call a federal election soon and seek a full mandate from voters. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
And Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly stating in no uncertain terms today that Canada will not bend to the United States. 680's Richard Southern with more on the G7 summit in Quebec.
Marco Rubio, the U.S. Secretary of State, was in Quebec yesterday for G7 summit, and on Canadian soil, he repeated Trump's assertion that Canada would be better off being part of the state.
If they became a 51st state, we wouldn't have to worry about the border. He's made an argument that it's their interest to do so. Obviously, the Canadians don't agree, apparently.
No, they don't. And Melanie Joly, the Foreign Affairs Minister, said she told that to Rubio's face.
Canada's sovereignty is not up to debate. Period. This is not a joke. Canadians are anxious. Canadians are proud people, and you are here in a sovereign country.
On the tariff pushback, Joly said Canada is exerting maximum pressure on the Trump administration, but she also said that this country is looking for other means of doing trade.
Canada wants to foster new partnerships in the world. We want to be closer to Europe.
There are, though, no immediate changes to Trump's tariffs. Richard Southern, 680 News Radio.
680 News Time 7:36. Happening now at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, NASA has seen a successful liftoff with 4 astronauts on board a SpaceX spacecraft on the way to the International Space Station. Okay, so they're on this mission to relieve the astronauts already on the ISS, which Wilmore Sonny Williams. They launched on a troubled Boeing Starliner capsule last year. They were only supposed to be on the ISS for about 8 days, but because there were problems with the Starliner that thwarted their way home, they've too risky to bring them back. Starliner returned to Earth without issue.
680 News Time, 7:37. Make sure you have your tickets handy. The TTC is adding more fare inspectors for city buses starting next week. 680's Phil Martino joins us live with all of those details. Phil.
Andy, the TTC loses big to fare evaders every year.
The last audit puts that number around $140 million.
That's the TTC's Stuart Green, who says that money could be going into better service, cleaner stations, and keeping fares down. So it's absolutely money they need to recover. They have fare inspectors on streetcars and in subway stations, and starting Monday, customers riding the bus will see them as well.
So, people that are riding the bus network and coming in through subway stations after getting off a bus, could encounter a fare inspector anytime. So it's really important that everybody have their proof of payment ready.
These TTC riders have mixed feelings about the crackdown.
And they should be paying and doing that. And who's going to pay for the thing if the riders don't? So for goodness sakes, let's get them paid.
Well, I think really the issue is not that people aren't paying, it's affordability in the city. Yeah, I don't think there needs to be a crackdown. Like, I think that it shows that people need support.
The TTC says for the first 2 weeks it will be about education and issuing warnings, and then penalties for fare evasion on buses will kick in, and that could cost people who can't show proof of payment up to $425. That's from Martino. 680 News Time, 7:38. Residents near St. James Park are asking the city to step in as encampment in the park continues to grow. City's Shauna Hunt with the community response.
Residents here are voicing concern. St. James Park is a green space right in the middle of the downtown core. This is where families gather, people walk their dogs, and it's now the site of this growing encampment that not only includes a few tents, but also tiny homes.
All these people need help, but squatting on public parks with spring coming is not the right way, and the city needs to act fast.
Over the last several months, a mini encampment has popped up on this downtown green space just steps away from a busy playground. An area resident, Daniel Tate, worries it will continue to grow if the city doesn't intervene. Several structures built by the nonprofit organization Tiny Homes have also been placed here, and while they are not legal, they are being used to help people.
Those raising concerns about these encampments are mostly in favor of the tiny homes, but not in public parks. City Councillor Chris Moyes, meantime, says outreach workers are in the parks every day, working with the inhabitants to find them a more long-term indoor space. Coming up in 30 seconds, we'll take a look at your gas price update. 680 News Time, 7:39.
We're here at Richmond Hill Toyota to demonstrate the power, refinement, and style of the 2025 Tacoma pickup.
This Tacoma's got the king-size cojones.
And in March, you can get some king-size value. Every in-stock Tacoma comes with a no-charge hard tonneau cover, a value of up to $2,000. Only while inventory lasts. Only at Richmond Hill Toyota.
The News Radio Toronto gas price update. Enbro predicts the price will fall 1 cent at midnight to $1.51.9 a liter at most GTA stations. Coming up in 60 seconds, your traffic and weather together. 680 News Time at 7:40.
Did you hear that Friday's Lotto Max jackpot is an estimated $40 million?
If I won, I'd start my own film festival.
No dreaming during the movie. Sorry, I produce, direct, and star in my own summer blockbusters.
And watch him in my 200-seat home theater. I buy my own roller coaster.
Friday's Lotto Max jackpot is an estimated $40 million. Why dream to the min when you can dream to the max?
Discover more value than ever at Loblaws. Get sirloin tick roast for $6.99 a pound. Hurry offer ends Wednesday, March 19th. Shop in-store or online today. Conditions apply. See flyer for details. Loblaws, proudly Canadian since 1919.
So you've logged into your Google account at a cafe in Toronto, but you're actually sitting at home, which is not in Toronto. Luckily, Google proactively notifies you of suspicious logins, so you can confirm if it is or isn't you. Visit safety.google.
680 News Time, 7:41. Time now for Rogers Xfinity Internet traffic and weather. Together on the one, here's Justin Pierce.
Well, the drive overall, it's fairly slow, but now it looks like there's a vehicle fire that's just adding to the delays. This report's brought to you by Specsavers. It's on the West 401. It's just west of Dixon Martin Road. Looks like the two left lanes are blocked due to a vehicle fire. It's off into the left shoulder, but it looks like Toronto Fire have since extinguished the fire because I don't see any flames, but traffic's moving slowly back at the 400, really both the express and collector lanes again because those two left lanes are blocked. Once you pass through Dixon Martin Grove, traffic then begins to pick up fairly well as you make your way through the 427 into Mississauga and beyond. But then we got a call from a traffic spotter about an issue in Mississauga along the westbound 401 on the approach to Mavis in the express. Sounds like the right shoulder and the right lane's partially blocked due to a stalled tanker. It appears as though it lost its tire. There's debris across the highway. This time a little bit of a delay, not really, but it's kind of slow as you make your way through the city of Mississauga. Up in Brampton on the North 410, more delays north of Steeles through the bottleneck at Queen. Once you get north of Williams, traffic then begins to pick up through Beauvais, Sandalwood, and beyond. And moving to City Street, it's worth noting that there is construction westbound Finch and Weston. Looks like you are down to a single lane for that road work. It's the spring sale event at Specsavers. Shop Brady just 50% off when upgrades only for limited term. Conditions and exclusions apply. See Specsavers.ca. That is the forecast to the St. George.
Temperatures soared through southern Ontario today. We didn't quite get to the warmest spot in the province, but we did manage to climb to 13 degrees at Pearson. A little warmer tomorrow, up to 14. Sun and cloud to start Saturday, and then by the afternoon, showers, risk of isolated storms. We'll see wet weather Saturday night and off through the morning and afternoon for Sunday. Highs on Sunday near 14. Tonight's low, 6 degrees.
Right now downtown, a mostly cloudy sky, 9 degrees, feels more like 5, and over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions, feels more like 6 degrees. Coming up in 60 seconds, Toronto's top headlines and a check of sports.
Rogers Xfinity Internet is ready for everything, so you can search and stream and shop and study and share and play and post and work and watch and game and work out and download and that's a lot. And now you can save a lot too at the Rogers Spring Event. Visit in-store or Rogers.com and save up to $20 a month on a 24-month term on Canada's most reliable internet. Get Rogers Xfinity Internet and be ready to do more of everything.
Canada. Looking for award-winning Hyundai? Visit now Barrios Hyundai. Proudly Canadian and serving up deals hotter than a double-double during the Hyundai Advantage sales event. Looking for a Hyundai? Arms or cars? Visit now BarriosHyundai.com today. Save up to 50% off at 0% financing available for 2 years. Quality and comfort you can trust and afford. EcoTechWindows.ca. The more you listen, the more you'll know. 680 News Radio.
Right now downtown, a mostly cloudy sky. Good evening, I'm Andy Pozo. Here are the top stories this hour. A busy first day as Prime Minister for Mark Carney. Just a few hours after being sworn in, Carney signing an act to eliminate the carbon tax. He says people who have been getting a rebate on the carbon price will get one final payment in April. And Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly putting her foot down while meeting with U.S. Senator Marco Rubio at the G7 summit in Quebec to discuss Donald Trump's comments about annexing Canada. SpaceX has launched the new crew from Florida's Kennedy Space Center. The 4 astronauts should reach the space station tomorrow and will pave the way for the next week's return of Butch Wilmore and Sunny Williams. And now time for sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Good evening, Chloe Bernabé.
Good evening, Andy. Down in West Palm Beach, the Jays are facing off against the Astros as the spring and training season begins to wind down. Right now, the Astros actually taking the lead 5-3 at the bottom of the 5th. Over to the court where the Raptors are looking to sing the right tune to defeat the Jazz. There are some key players, though. Scotty Barnes is day-to-day with a hand injury. Jakob Poeltl is out to rest, and Jacoby Walters still dealing with a hip injury. However, Emmanuel Quickly and RJ Barrett will be checking back into the lineup. You can catch all the action on Sportsnet or Sportsnet 590 The Fan at 9:30. And the Leafs aren't on the ice tonight. They're preparing to take on the Sens tomorrow. The Sens have won their past 5 games.
And for what you can catch tonight on Sportsnet hockey-wise, the Oilers visit the Islanders, and Colorado is in Calgary. The Flames will be without captain Michael Backlund after he suffered an upper body injury on Wednesday. Lots of OHL action right now. The Steelheads are facing off against the Colts at the CAA Center. Right now 0-0 after the first period. And the Generals are visiting the 67th in Ottawa. Right now that's tied 1-1. Sports at 15 and 45, pass every hour, or anytime at sportsnet.ca.
Now at Joe Fresh, our lowest prices on fresh styles. Select children's t-shirts at a fresh price, just $4.99 each. Plus, discover your spring essentials with a selection of new women's tops. At these prices, you'll never barbecue. For details.
Empire Communities introduces homes that are ready when you are. Buy now and save big with unbeatable prices. Right now, you can own a townhome from the low 500,000s or a detached home from the low 600,000s. In the Hamilton and Niagara regions, you'll pay just 5% down for all homes with 2025 closings, plus free air conditioning and kitchen appliances. Hurry for unbeatable prices from Empire Communities. Visit empireready.com. We're ready when you are.
You deserve a great lunch. That's why Boston Pizza now offers a $15 lunch menu, including a main, side, and a drink served in just 20 minutes. Boston Pizza's $15 lunch menu. Because a fast lunch doesn't have to mean fast food.
680 News Time, 7:48. Toronto's mayor is reacting. The long overdue Eglinton Crosstown may open up to riders this September. 680's Roman
delays on the eastbound side on the approach to Parkside, westbound side on the approach to Spadina. Looking for better results from your Google advertising? Switch to Search Kings, winner of the Google Premier Partner Customer Satisfaction Award. Your search is over. Let Search Kings help your customers find you. Now the forecast, Denise Andriacci.
Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 6. We'll climb to near 15 degrees for Saturday. Sun and cloud in the morning, but showers and a risk of storms by afternoon. We see more wet weather Saturday night, early Sunday morning and afternoon, more shower activity, and windy as well for Sunday. Temperatures are above seasonal this entire weekend until we get to Sunday night, and that's when we start to tap into a cooler air mass down to near -2. So a cool morning Monday as the kiddos head back to school after March break, but seasonal in near 6 for the afternoon. Tonight's low, 6 degrees.
Right now downtown, a mostly cloudy sky at 9 degrees, feels more like 5. And over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions with a mostly cloudy sky. Coming up at the top of the hour, Prime Minister Mark Carney getting right to work today. His first order as the 24th p.m. was to cut the carbon tax, and 4 astronauts are now on their way to the International Space Station to pick up Butch Wilmore and Sunny Williams, who've been at the ICC now now for almost 9 months. Those stories and Toronto's top headlines all coming up at 8 o'clock.
This extended forecast is brought to you by Rexdale Hyundai.
Looking for a Hyundai? I'm your guy. It's the reopening of Rexdale Hyundai. Need an oil change? Just drive up. No appointment needed. Visit RexdaleHyundai.ca today.
Are you aspiring to find a recliner that fits you perfectly and offers ergonomic support and personalized comfort your body deserves? Visit Scandicor Burlington, the largest gallery of top-notch Scandinavian recliners. Whether you need a chair with a separate ottoman, a power recliner, or a lift recliner for a senior, Scandicor has it all. Visit Scandicor.ca and enjoy up to 40% off in-stock recliners. Located on Fairview Street off the QEW between Appleby and Walker's Line. Scandicor. Live modern. Live beautiful.
Breaking news, traffic, and weather. You can always trust to be there.
Here's the accurate.
680 News Radio, Toronto.
680 News Time, 7:55. Peel Region has finally given an update to the timeline for water main replacement on Dundas east of Dixie, and it won't be the end of construction in the area. 680's Kyle Hawking has the latest.
Peel Region has been working on this major project since the summer of 2023. Dundas has been reduced from 3 lanes to 2 along the section between Dixie and the Region of Peel border at Etobicoke Creek, and work's been taking place in stages. Initially, Peel Region had aimed for the end of 2024 to be finished the project, but work fell behind, and it took the region a little while to offer an updated timeline. Crews now expect to be finished with the work this coming summer. But then a major Metrolinx project will start. Planned later this year is construction on the 48-kilometer-long Dundas Bus Rapid Transit project to take over once the water main work is finished between Highway 6 and Hamilton all the way to Kipling Station. Peel Region says it's committed to coordinating their work with the City of Mississauga and Metrolinx while the right-of-way is built. The Niner Drive, I'm Kyle Hawking.
The Market Minute coming up next.
You're hurt, and injuries have changed your life. You're not working, can't help your family, and feel like your life is slipping away. Hi, I'm David Himmelfarb, Impro's managing partner. Our team of highly rated lawyers has over 40 years of experience fighting insurance companies and winning major settlements for clients. Visit himpro.ca today to experience the Himpro advantage. That's himpro.ca. Himpro, serious results for serious injuries fast. The Princess Margaret Home Lottery is over 60% sold. Win the stunning $9 million grand prize, an Oakville show home, and $500,000. Plus the George and Bay show home and the incredible $2.8 million early bird prize, a Muskoka Lakefront cottage, and $50,000. Add on to win even more with the 50/50 cash calendar and Wanderlist. Hurry, tickets are over 60% sold. Carry the fire. Buy your tickets at PrincessMargaretAuto.com.
And now with your Market Minute, here's Chris McCusker.
Shares in Tesla into a winning session today, up by about 4%, but down by about 5% this week and lower by 38% this year. The EV maker sitting on your Aeroplan points. So the only place you're sitting is in your car coming back from work. Use your points and go from sipping on your leftover latte to sipping on the local vintage. So, stop sitting on your next trip and start enjoying your Aeroplan points. Got PC Optimum points? Claire does, and shops the bonus redemption event at Shoppers Drug Mart to get more free stuff for her points.
If I redeem 200,000 points, I'll get $300 off. That's an extra $100 in value.
Awesome, Claire. The bonus redemption event runs March 14th to 19th, in-store and online. Exclusive to Shoppers Drug Mart. Proudly Canadian owned and operated. Restrictions apply.
Now, regional weather conditions for Hickory Dickory Decks. Canada's #1 deck builder, Hickory Dickory Decks, has built over 40,000 custom projects and offers the widest range of low-maintenance decking. Visit decks.ca today.
Right now in Brampton, 9 degrees, feels more 7, and in Scarborough, a partly cloudy sky, 6 degrees, feels more like 3. 6:80 news time at 8 o'clock.
#1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. 680 News Radio, Toronto.
Good evening. It is Friday, the 14th of March. I'm Mitch Brooks.
And I'm Andy Bozo. Here's what's making news this hour.
It's the beginning of a new political era. Mark Carney is sworn in as Canada's 24th Prime Minister and takes immediate action by eliminating the consumer carbon tax just hours after taking office.
Special weather statement now blankets southern Ontario ahead of a very rainy and windy Sunday.
Down but not out. Cycle Toronto's injunction to stop the Ford government from removing bike lanes in the city has been denied, but the group says this isn't over yet.
It's not respecting local democracy.
And you might have to make room for a fare inspector on your next TTC bus ride.
The Jays lose their lead against the Astros, and the Raptors are looking to keep their momentum going as they visit the Jazz. Sports at 15. The TIA stacks up by more than 300 points. The Dow jumps by almost 700. The NASDAQ up by more than 400, but all still finished lower this week. Business at 26.
680 news time, 8:01.
Rogers Xfinity Internet traffic and weather together on the ones. Here is Justin Pierce.
Well, there's a stalled vehicle that has cleared along the eastbound side of the 401 district. It was in Pickering at Brock Road. The rail lane was blocked for that stalled vehicle. It has since been cleared by MTO, so that rail lane's now live. Traffic's moving fairly well as you make your way through Pickering, through Ajax, Whitby, Oshawa, and beyond westbound side of the 401. There are still some minor delays happening out in Durham. Again, it's not major, it's just through Lake Ridge. Once you pass through that, also moving well through Ajax, Pickering, and even Scarborough. But now there's vehicle fire cleanup that's ongoing along the West 401. It's west of Dixon Martin Grove. It is blocking the left lane. Toronto Fire, they have since left, but the burnt out vehicle's still there in the left shoulder. Looks like MTO crews are on the scene. The tow truck may show up in the coming moments here, but it is still causing a pretty significant slowdown from on the approach to Kiel. It's off and on really in both the express and collector lanes. Over on the Gardner, of course, as we all know, there's that long-term road work that's happening on the elevated part, so obviously it is still causing delays. Eastbound side starts on the approach to Parkside. Westbound side, the delays start as you make your way towards Spadina. Moving to Brampton on the North 410, there are more delays up there, of course, on the northbound 410. Slow north of Steeles through the bottleneck at Queen. After you lose all those lanes at Queen, traffic's moving fairly well. Once you get north of it, where drivers get settled, traffic's moving fairly well. Now through Beauvais, Sandalwood, Mayfield, and beyond. This one's for the beauty lovers. Save over 55% at TSC on the Beekman 1802 6-piece hand cream gift set. Today's showstopper at tsc.ca. Now with the forecast, Denise Andriachi.
We have a lovely day today. We're calm and quiet this evening, partly cloudy. Overnight tonight, we're down to near 6 degrees. We'll have some sunny breaks tomorrow morning, but scattered showers begin in the afternoon, and it's on and off through the rest of the day and night Saturday. Also, the risk of isolated storms will climb to near 14 degrees tomorrow. Our low tonight, 6 degrees.
Right now downtown, a mostly cloudy sky, 9 degrees, feels more like 5. 680 news time, 8:03.
The Mark Carney era of Canadian politics has kicked off with a political style you might commonly associate with the Trump White House in doing away with openly mused about destroying our sovereignty.
680's Parliament Hill reporter Cormac McSweeney joins us from the grounds of Rideau Hall, where the swearing-in ceremony took place.
It's my honor, on behalf of my colleagues, to sign this.
Newly minted Prime Minister Mark Carney gets a round of applause from his new cabinet as he signs an order to effectively eliminate the consumer carbon tax as his first order of business just hours after taking office.
This is a cabinet that's focused on action. It's focused on getting more money in the pockets of Canadians.
People who receive rebates will still get a final check in April, but ending the carbon tax is a show of a departure from the Trudeau era, where this was a divisive but key policy. Carney was only officially sworn in as Prime Minister hours earlier. He has significantly slimmed his inner circle to 23 ministers by removing many from the previous government, adding 3 new faces, and giving new jobs to many of the rest. His first official trip will be to France and the UK in the coming days to reach out to allies amid the economic and sovereignty threats from the U.S. He has no plans to visit Washington, but says when he speaks to President Trump, he will make it clear Canada will never become the 51st state. While there is a new cabinet, there won't be a lot of time for ministers to get adjusted, since Carney is hinting there may be an early election call.
There will be other news in the coming days with respect to ensuring that we have as strong a mandate that is needed for the time. Thank you.
Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
Well, that's a wrap on the G7 meeting in Quebec, where strength and unity among the world's largest economies was the main message. But as 680's Richard Southern reports, Canada wanted to make one thing very clear one more time.
Trump's Secretary of State was on Canadian soil yesterday and came face-to-face with Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister at a G7 meeting in Quebec. Melanie Joly said she made one thing perfectly clear to Marco Rubio.
Canada's sovereignty is not up to debate, period. There's no argument, there's no conversation about it, there's no need to talk about it. You respect their people, period.
What did Marco Rubio think of that?
The president has made his argument as to why he thinks Canada would be better off joining the United States for economic purposes. There's a disagreement between the president's position and the position of the Canadian government. I don't think that's a mystery coming in.
As far as the Trump tariffs are concerned, Joly said the pushback is continuing.
We will put maximum pressure on the Americans. And meanwhile, we'll work on finding off-ramps.
Not clear, though, what those could be, with Trump indicating just yesterday he's not budging on the tariffs just yet. Richard Southern, 680 News Radio.
680 News Time, 8:06. An American tourism group will be in Toronto next week looking to change minds. 680's business editor Chris McCusker with more.
Canadians have been canceling trips south of the border in response to U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs, and the American tourism industry is noticing. So a tourism group is coming here. Milton Segara, the CEO of Discover the Palm Beaches, tells the Toronto Star Canadians are by far the largest group of travelers each year, contributing $500 million to the economy. Now, this meeting was scheduled in October before Trump was sworn in. Segara, though, says it's still an important meeting, and it's taken on new meaning in recent weeks. The U.S. Travel Association says Canadians spent $20.5 billion in the U.S. last year. I'm Chris McCusker.
680 News Time, 8:07.
680 News Radio Weather Alert.
Well, this weekend could deal the final blow to all those crusty snowbanks that have made it this far as temperatures rise and heavy rain moves in. Environment Canada has issued a special weather statement for all of southern Ontario ahead of the system's arrival on Sunday. It's calling for total rainfall amounts of between 15 and 25 millimeters, along with strong winds that could gust as high as 80 kilometers an hour. Again, this is mostly for Sunday. Localized flooding is possible in low-lying areas, and ponding and pooling could be an issue on the roads.
680 News Time, 8:08. Cycling advocates who've been fighting to save some of Toronto's most used bike lanes were dealt a major legal setback today. 680's Phil Martino joins us live with the latest on the Ford government's plan to dig them up. Phil.
Andy, the bike lanes they were trying to save are on Bloor, Yonge, and University. With a judge denying Cycle Toronto's request for an injunction, this paves the way for these bike lanes to be ripped out. Michael Longfield, Cycle Toronto's executive director, says they're disappointed with the ruling.
But the injunction was just sort of one step in what's ultimately a larger challenge, which is the charter challenges on the legislation, and we're still very confident about that heading into April 16th.
The judge's decision reads the applicants have not met the heavy burden of establishing that an injunction preventing the removal of the target bike lanes, even for a short period of time, will do more for the public interest when considering the legislation's stated purpose. There is no official comment from the Ministry of Transportation on today's ruling or on an exact timeline for when these lanes will be removed. I'm Phil Martino.
And you might have to make room for a fare inspector on your next TTC bus ride. Starting on Monday, inspectors will now be seen on buses across the city, asking for your proof of payment, adding to the random inspections that are already going on streetcars and subways. The transit agency claims that about $140 million is lost to fare evasion every year. 680 News Time, 8:09.
680 News Radio Toronto.
Hey everyone, Sam back from Best Brand Appliance. We just had our best quarter ever. The market is really picking up. It's starting to cook. Rates are coming down. Only good things are happening. Just to watch the news. I'm so proud of what Best Brand Appliance has become. We're now one of the largest Sub-Zero Wolf and Miele dealers, not just in Canada, but now North America. You gotta come see the most innovative, comprehensive, and largest Sub-Zero Wolf and Miele showroom in this hemisphere. Come get ideas and inspiration only at Best Brand Appliance, now in Toronto, Vaughan, and Oakville, Burlington.
It is time now for the gas price update. Enpro predicts the price will fall 1 cent at midnight, down to $1.51.9 cents a liter at most GTA stations. 680 News Time, 8:10.
Supporting Canadian businesses has never been more important. That's why Canada Post is committed to making it easier to ship Canadian with our best rates ever. Right now, your business will save up to 70% on expedited shipping and returns. Plus, as a Toronto-based business, you can access rates as low as $3.50 for lightweight local packages. It's time to shop Canadian, ship Canadian. Learn more about our best rates at canadapost.ca/shipcanadian.
Canadians, your dream vacation is calling. March Madness deals are on, and redtag.ca is turning up the heat. For a limited time, book a WestJet Vacations getaway with redtag.ca, and you could win it back, up to $5,000. But wait, there's more. Not one, not two, but 5 lucky winners will win back their dream vacation. Don't miss your shot. Book now at redtag.ca or call 1-866-5-REDTAG. Certain conditions apply. Redtag.ca. Made by Canadians, for Canadians.
680 News Time, 8:11. Rogers Xfinity Internet traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Justin Pierce.
Well, it looks like all of the issues are happening along the westbound 401, and now there's another one. This report's brought to you by Diamond and Diamond Lawyers. We just got off the phone with a traffic spotter westbound side of the 401 on the approach to Ritson out in Oshawa. It looks like the center lane's blocked due to a stalled minivan. It's just sitting there idle in the center lane. It is causing a slowdown back in Harmony, of course, because drivers, you have to maneuver yourself around that vehicle that's just, again, sitting there in the center lane with its four-ways on. No signs of emergency crews yet. So, again, keep that in mind as you make your way through Oshawa, that there is this stalled vehicle just sitting in the center lane at Ritson. Farther west, along the 401, there's now a new problem. It's a collision. It's on the approach to the 400. It's in the express. The left lane's blocked with this crash. 2 vehicles collided. Looks like one rear-ended another. Both of them are off into the right shoulder and the right lane. Again, both sitting there with their four-ways on. No signs of emergency crews yet either. The delays start back at about Kiel. Really, both the express and collectors. It's also in part due to another problem that's far ahead, about 5 kilometers away, just west of Dixon Martin Grove. The left lane's blocked due to vehicle fire.